For most people watching this video, whether you like it or not, school is an inevitability. You're going to be in school, you're going to be required to complete at least some school, and I want to talk about in this video 4 things you can do to improve your likelihood of being successful. 4 things you can do to pass any class if you just do them. Now let's start off with the fact that no one wants to be in every class they have to take. I've thought about this for a long time, and if you divide your interests up into certain categories, then your probability of being in the class that you like, and since you have to take some of them all, is like 1 in 6. If you have 6 periods in the day, you're probably not going to be interested in all of them. Now, some people have multiple interests, and I understand that, but the first thing you have to do is get a mindset that you're going to go into the class and you're going to do what you have to do to pass, regardless of whether you're interested or not. That's the first step. So once you've decided that you're going to pass the class, then what you have to do is these 4 things. There's 4 things that you can do to pass any class. First thing you have to do, and don't get mad at me because this is so simple. You have to show up. That doesn't just necessarily mean be physically present. I want the definition of show up to expand a little bit to the point where you're actually showing up with interest and engagement in the class. You're showing up with the intention of being successful. Showing up is not just coming, sitting in the desk and being there. Showing up means, if you like the sports metaphors, sometimes you'll hear a sports announcer say, well, fill in your team name here, just didn't show up today. And by that doesn't mean they weren't on the field. They didn't forfeit. They just didn't bring their A game to the contest. And that's what showing up in class means in this context. You have to show up and bring your A game. You've got to be ready to engage what is happening in class, and you need to put away your electronic distractions and put away the thoughts about what's going to happen at lunch or the thoughts about what happened earlier on the bus. Put those things away and engage the moment of the class. It's not just physical presence, but it is a mental investment in what's going on in the class. The second thing that you need to do to pass any class is, now this is going to sound almost condescending and trivial, you need to pay attention and figure out what's required by the course. Now in college it looks like a syllabi. They're going to tell you what is required, and they're going to tell you how it's required to be done. In high school and middle school, for the longest time, the students have worked with something called an agenda or an assignment book or a to-do book, and that is going to define the things that need to be done in order to be successful. And you need to pay attention. The teachers are almost certainly going to tell you how to be successful. They're going to give you the information that you need in order to meet the requirements of the course. Teachers don't actually go home and figure out how to make your life miserable. If teachers are worrying about their class while in their off hours, it is not about trying to think of ways to make things harder. It's about how to make people more successful. So the teachers are invested in seeing you be successful. So when you are in the class, listen to what's going on and figure out if it is going to be applicable to the assignment, and then you'll be able to plug that in and be successful. The third thing is, once you have figured out what you're required to do, here's a surprise, do it. Yes, do the assignments. And I would also add, do the assignments early when they're assigned and don't let them pile up, because normally this assignment is going to prepare you for the next one, and then this assignment is going to prepare you for the next one. As you can imagine, doing this assignment gets you ready for this one and this one, and then, okay, enough with the hands. Do the assignments. Now here's the last one. This you're going to roll your eyes, you're going to groan, you're going to say, oh my gosh, why? Turn it in. Now that sounds like a stupid suggestion. turn it in. If you have done the work, you need to turn it in. And even if it's not quite perfect, you're going to do better getting half the credit than getting none of the credit. You're going to do better getting some of the credit than if you don't do it, if you don't turn it in. I cannot tell you how many times I've gone around and check on students and be like, hey, where's this picture thing? Oh, I forgot to turn it in. Well, let me see. Well, they show it to me, they have it on their computer, they haven't turned it in. Or, where did you do these problems? Yeah, I did them. Well, why didn't you turn them in? Oh, I don't know. And that's a legitimate experience I have week after week after week after week, is students who will be like, I did the work, I just didn't turn it in. Turn in your assignment. So really quick, reprising the 4 things you can do to pass every class. Show up, and by that I mean engage the class emotionally, cognitively, physically. Be present. Don't be sitting there playing on your phone the whole time. Be in the class to do the class. Pay attention. Number 2, pay attention to what's going on and what the expectations and the requirements are. And pay attention to how the teacher tells you to get those requirements fulfilled. The teacher is going to give you the resources and the information needed to be successful. And so if you pay attention, you'll get those things. The next thing is to actually do the assignments, and do them in the order that they were given. Do them when they were given, because this assignment is going to prepare you for the next assignment. And lastly, don't forget to turn them in. Turn in the work. Put yourself in the class, show up, pay attention to what's going on, figure out what's required, do the requirements, do the work that's assigned, and turn it in. Here is a way to fail the class. Don't do the work. You will absolutely positively fail any class if you don't do the work. It doesn't matter how much you know. I had very smart students who just didn't turn the work in and ended up failing the class. So turn the work in. That's your opposite advice. If you want to fail the class, show up, do all the other stuff, just don't turn the work in. All right, enough. 4 things to be successful in any class. Hope this was helpful. If it was, please click that like button, share this video with someone else, and subscribe to the channel. We'll see you in the next video.